Hi, I'm Pat Dorsey, Director of Equity Research at Morningstar, and I wanted to give you an update on MasterCard, a pick that's done fairly well for us, to put it mildly. We initially recommended this stock at around, I think, about $50 per share back in June of 2006. The stock is cracking almost 200 at this point after doubling in 2007 on the back of some very strong operational results. So you may be wondering, what should I do with the shares and what's going on? Well, MasterCard, to put it simply, is blowing the doors off with its financial results. Net revenue in the most recent quarter grew 20%. Transactions are growing very quickly. The firm is getting what we call operating leverage, which means that the firm's sales are growing faster than its expenses. This means that margins are rising very quickly. Remember that MasterCard is not like most other credit card companies. This is not Discover, this is not American Express, because MasterCard does not take on any credit risk. MasterCard is not loaning you money when you use your MasterCard. MasterCard, the company, is simply a payment processing network. That's all it is. It is a network that takes a little bitty fee every time you use your credit card. And as such, it is really not subject to credit risk, which is something I think a lot of people miss. They talk about the stock and they worry that it's going to be hurt by a weak consumer in the U.S. And granted, if consumers stop using their credit cards completely or slow down a lot, that would impact their results. But MasterCard also gets a lot of revenue from places outside the U.S. where the shift from using cash to using plastic for more and more transactions is earlier in its growth phase and is accelerating very, very quickly. Another thing that's been pumping up MasterCard's results recently is an increase in what we call cross-border transactions. That's people who have the MasterCard in currency A, shopping in currency B. The weak dollar has encouraged a lot of Europeans to shop in the U.S., for example. And MasterCard, as any of you know, who've used MasterCard when you're abroad, they get a nice little fee and a little kind of, money on the exchange rate when you use the card cross-border. So those are very profitable transactions for MasterCard, even if they kind of hurt for the consumer when you use your card internationally. So the firm is growing very, very rapidly. They've been able to keep expenses in check so far. That's one reason why we've seen margins rise as quickly as we have. Right now, we have a fair value estimate for MasterCard of about 184, stocks at about 194, so it's about fairly valued right here. We are, though, expecting their marketing expenses to rise considerably going forward. We think that when Visa goes public next year, that MasterCard is going to need to ramp up marketing spending to sort of stay head-to-head and neck-and-neck with Visa. If that doesn't happen, if they are able to keep marketing spending, which is a huge expense for them, you've seen those priceless commercials, they're not cheap to make or to air. If MasterCard is able to keep its marketing spending in check, as it has been so far, then our fair value estimate could be considerably higher than 184, where it is right now. So if you've bought MasterCard, you've done very, very well. Our current recommendation is to hang on to the shares. The company is still growing very quickly. It is a very, very profitable and fast-growing business that we think has a lot of room to run as the world converts from cash to plastic. I'm Pat Dorsey, and thanks for listening. Do you want to keep up with our opinion on the stock mentioned in this report, including its stock star rating, fair value estimate, moat rating, and consider buying and selling prices? Analyst reports are available for nearly 2,000 companies. Access all of them today by starting a free 14-day premium membership trial.